One of the major controversies with whatever we're going to call it, David Gordon Green Trilogy, is by having Michael speak. And there's been a couple of videos positing that he did speak. I believe he did. I've listened to the exact place in Halloween Kills several times. Definitely does seem like it happened. And we can never know for certain. Maybe we are hearing things. Maybe the audio was manipulated. Again, I've double checked the clips. It does seem to be apparently a real thing. It's not a lot. He just says, give it back to Karen in terms of his mask. In terms of speaking a lot, it's not a lot. It's just 3 words. But it is something, and it definitely is out of character from the other films. He's usually almost totally silent, although again, he does sometimes speak in terms of breathing, grunting, and things like that. But out and out conversations, he just doesn't do that. But he did do something within Halloween Kills. So how do we know we can prove this? Well, I'm going to try to provide additional evidence. Again, I'm not trying to redeem or speak up for the series or the trilogy or anything like that. I'm just trying to get at the bottom of analyzing this controversy, and it does appear that there is some good evidence if we look at key scenes with Halloween 2018. So we're going to listen to Sartain, and apparently he is aware that Michael can speak, and he even hints he was trying to make him speak.
Controlled environment. I've never heard him speak, you see. In spite of my encouragements, he remains unresponsive. But tonight, so many possibilities exist.
He spoke to me.
He spoke to you?
Yeah, when he murdered my friend, he saw me, and he spoke to me.
What did he say?
So they were setting up something, and what happened in Halloween Kills does not appear to be just random. And although with Halloween Ends, they did sort of get rid of the script and rethought things because of COVID, all the indications suggest that with Halloween Kills, which I don't regard as a good movie, but many things were planned out, many things were intentional, including the radio tower, but we're not going to get into that. So, in terms of whether you care about this controversy, again, there does appear to be direct evidence from Halloween Kills, but again, gotta be careful, it's not a lot. You may not hear it, it is very, very quick, but it does occur. And beyond Halloween Kills, we do see some additional evidence from Sartain and his behavior. He was hoping Michael would say something, or that he would be acting somewhat differently than he would from within when he was controlling him. And again, does this close the case? Is there more to be done? Sure, but it seems reasonable that Sartain, he thought Michael could speak, which again, technically speaking, we don't even know that. We know from the other versions, yes, he can speak, but he just doesn't. And we're putting aside the Rob Zombie films where, yes, he definitely speaks, but that's its own continuity. The other sequels, even though they do drift from the original film, do try to stay within a certain boundary. And one of the boundaries was, besides the Rob Zombie films, is he never ever speaks. And for the most part, that has been obeyed. Again, sometimes these rules are stretched a little bit, but as far as I know, outside the Rob Zombie films, this is the only instance of Michael speaking full-blown. Now again, what does this even mean? Does it help us with his motivations? Does it help even solve what happens in Halloween Ends? I don't think so. We don't get a lot with Michael in Halloween Ends, so it may, quote, be an interesting, curious fact just about this entire trilogy that he did speak, and this is not the Rob Zombie films, and it is linked canonically to the first film, at least in this continuity that they've created for themselves. So that's interesting. But did it happen? I think all the evidence suggests it did. You're going to have to go back a couple times to perhaps convince yourself. Again, I've listened to different clips. It does appear to be there. It's not something that the fans inserted. It's not a lot, but he did say something. And he did say, give it back. And there is some evidence in 2018 they may have been setting something up with Sartain, at least hinting that something would occur with Michael and his voice. Again, it's speculative, but it is something to work with. So there we are. So if you are curious about this controversy, there is something to latch onto. It's not just pure speculation. And I'm sure we're going to be discovering other, quote, first-time evers in this trilogy that were never, whether they should have been done is another question, but they probably did intend to, quote, break some rules that were previously established. And obviously, with Corey Cunningham being such a prominent feature in Halloween Ends, that's never really been done. Again, good or bad, this trilogy did try new things. Mostly, I think, within mediocre films. But again, these things did happen, and when analyzing them, good or bad, we should take note of that.
Say something. Michael's pursuit of Laurie Strode.
Michael, I see why you are who you are. The sensation is obvious. The thrill is exhilarating.